Stop. Do not scroll past this. What I am about to show you in the next 30 seconds is going to change your plans for the rest of this week and possibly the next 2 weeks after that. We are tracking a temperature crash unlike anything this region has seen in years. Not decades. Years. And the worst part? Most people have absolutely no idea it is coming. 45 degrees. Gone. In 36 hours. Stay with me. Because the city that is going to get hit hardest is coming up in just a few minutes, and you need to know if it is yours. Welcome back. I am glad you are here. My name is on the screen, and if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button right now because over the next several days, this forecast is going to evolve fast and you do not want to miss a single update. Turn on your notifications. I am not kidding. This is a channel-wide alert situation and I will be posting updates as the models shift because they have already shifted once overnight. More on that in a moment. Here is what we are dealing with. A massive dome of Arctic air has been locked up over central Canada for the better part of 2 weeks. It has been sitting there, building, deepening, getting colder and colder. And now, on March 10, 2026, the pattern has finally broken. The ridge that was keeping that air bottled up to the north has collapsed. And when I say collapsed, I mean it fell apart fast. Within 12 hours of the models picking this up, the entire upper-level flow shifted. That is not normal. That kind of rapid pattern evolution is what meteorologists call a high-impact setup. And right now, every major modeling system on the planet is screaming the same thing. This air mass is coming south. It is coming fast. And it is going to hit hard. I need you to stay until the end of this video because I am going to reveal the 3-tier danger ranking for every major city in the impact zone. Tier 1 is the most dangerous. These are the cities where we are looking at prolonged cold combined with ice, combined with infrastructure failure risk. I am also going to walk you through the exact hour-by-hour timing of when this thing arrives, city by city. And then, about 2/3 of the way through, I am going to show you something the models just started picking up last night that changes the entire back half of this week. Something that nobody is talking about yet. Do not leave early. You will miss it. Let us start with Phase 1. What is happening right now, this morning, March 10th? The leading edge of this system is not the Arctic blast itself. Not yet. Right now, what we have coming through the Ohio Valley and pushing into the mid-Atlantic is a moisture surge. Warm, humid air being pulled up from the Gulf ahead of this cold front. That warm air is actually the dangerous part right now because it is setting the stage for what comes next. You have got temperatures in the 50s and even lower 60s across parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, and the Carolinas. That sounds nice. That sounds like a late winter warm-up. It is not. It is the last gasp before the hammer drops. In Chicago right now, the temperature is already falling. The front has pushed through the northern tier. Minneapolis dropped 12 degrees overnight. Bismarck, North Dakota is already sitting at 14 degrees above zero with wind chills at -8. That cold air is not staying up north. That is the whole point of this video. It is moving. It is moving south and east at roughly 300 miles every 12 hours and it is not slowing down. Kansas City, you felt the front come through this morning. Temperatures went from 44 down to 28 in about 4 hours. That is what is coming for everyone to your east and south. This is not a slow-moving system. This is not a gradual chill. This is a crash. A full-on temperature crash. Now let me walk you through the modeling, because I want you to understand why I am taking this so seriously and why you should too. The GFS, that is the American Global Forecast System, is our long-range workhorse. It runs 4 times a day and it looks out to 16 days. For the last 4 runs, going back 36 hours, the GFS has been absolutely locked in on this event. No waffling. No backing off. Every single run has maintained or intensified the temperature anomalies associated with this Arctic intrusion. When the GFS stops changing, that is a sign of high confidence. And right now the GFS is showing temperature departures of 25 to 35 degrees below normal across a massive swath of the central and eastern United States. That is not a cold snap. That is an Arctic occupation. Now, the European model, the ECMWF, which most meteorologists consider to be the gold standard for medium-range forecasting, has been in very close agreement with the GFS on the timing and the core of this event. There is some disagreement on the southern extent, meaning how far south the coldest air actually penetrates. The Euro has been slightly more aggressive in pushing that cold air down into Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. The GFS has been a little more conservative. I am going to give you both scenarios because you deserve to know the full range of what is possible. The HRRR, the High-Resolution Rapid Refresh Model, is the short-range specialist. It runs on a 3-kilometer grid, which means it can see individual valleys and urban heat islands and lake effect corridors that the bigger global models completely miss. The HRRR right now is painting a very clear picture for the next 24 hours. Rapid temperature falls across the Midwest starting this afternoon. The front pushes through Indianapolis and Columbus by tonight. Cleveland and Pittsburgh by early tomorrow morning. And then the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast by tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then there is the national blend of models. This is the product that the National Weather Service uses as its official baseline forecast. It takes the GFS, the European, the HRRR, and about a dozen other modeling systems and blends them together using a sophisticated weighting algorithm. The NBM right now is absolutely alarming for a large portion of this country. Wind chills below -20 in parts of the upper Midwest. Wind chills in the -10 to -20 range across the Great Lakes. And single-digit actual temperatures, not wind chill, actual air temperatures, as far south as Louisville and Cincinnati by Wednesday morning. Now let us talk about the specific numbers. Because I know you want them. I know that is why you are here. Phase 1 impact zone, and this is happening now through tonight. The front crosses the following cities in this order. Green Bay, Wisconsin is already in it. Madison is going through it right now. Milwaukee hits the front by midday. Chicago, you are going to see the temperature drop 15 degrees between noon and 6 p.m. tonight. By midnight, Chicago drops to 19 degrees. Wind gusts to 35 miles per hour. That gives you a wind chill of around -6. That is dangerous for anyone who does not dress appropriately. Detroit, you are next. The front arrives tonight around 8 p.m. You go from 39 degrees to 22 degrees by midnight. By tomorrow morning, Detroit sits at 11 degrees with wind chills near -12. Indianapolis. You see the front tonight around 10 p.m. Temperature falls from 35 to 21 by 2 in the morning. By tomorrow afternoon you are sitting at 14 degrees with northwest winds gusting to 40 miles per hour. That is a wind chill of -15. Let me say that again. -15 degrees wind chill in Indianapolis on March 11th. This is not normal. Columbus, Ohio. Your front arrives around midnight tonight into tomorrow morning. You drop from 38 degrees to 24 in about 3 hours. And then it keeps falling. By tomorrow afternoon Columbus is at 17 degrees. Wind chills near -10. Pittsburgh. The front arrives tomorrow morning around 6 a.m. You go from 41 degrees, which again feels deceptively nice, down to 26 by noon, and then down to 15 by tomorrow night. Wind gusts in Pittsburgh could reach 45 miles per hour during the frontal passage, and that channel effect through the river valleys could funnel even stronger gusts in some spots. Wind chill in Pittsburgh by tomorrow night, -14 to -18. That is a dangerous cold event for a city that has a lot of older housing stock with older infrastructure. Cleveland and the Lake Erie corridor. I need to stop here for a second because this is where Phase 1 and Phase 2 overlap and it gets complicated. As this Arctic air mass streams across the open waters of Lake Erie, which are still relatively warm compared to the air temperature, we are going to generate significant lake effect snow. The HRRR is picking up on a lake effect band that could set up downwind of Cleveland and potentially lock in over the snowbelt counties of northeast Ohio and northwest Pennsylvania. Erie, Pennsylvania, could see an additional 6 to 12 inches of lake effect snow on top of whatever the frontal system drops. And the frontal system itself is not a big snow producer for most areas. This is a cold and wind event primarily. But the lake effect is real and it is the secondary hazard that sneaks up on people. Now let us talk about Phase 2, which is the core Arctic blast itself. This is the main event. This is what happens after the front passes and that deep polar air pours in. By Wednesday morning, March 11th, the core of the Arctic air mass is parked over the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley. These are the numbers I need you to pay close attention to. Minneapolis, actual temperature -8 degrees. Wind chill -31. This is life-threatening cold. Exposure of more than 10 minutes to a wind chill of -30 can cause frostbite on exposed skin. This is not an exaggeration. This is physics. Green Bay, Wisconsin, actual temperature -4 degrees. Wind chill -28. Milwaukee, 5 degrees above zero. Wind chill -22. Chicago, 9 degrees. Wind chill -17. Chicago, you have been through cold events before, but the combination of this cold arriving in mid-March, when people have already let their guard down because of some of the mild weather you have seen recently, is what concerns me. People are not mentally in winter mode anymore. They are not dressed for it. That is when cold events become medical emergencies. Detroit, 8 degrees above zero. Wind chill -19. Cleveland, 12 degrees. Wind chill -15 with lake effect snow bands producing 1 to 3 inches per hour at times in the snow belt. Buffalo, 10 degrees. Wind chill -17. Lake effect off Lake Ontario could stack additional snow on top of what arrives with the frontal system. Some locations downwind of both lakes could see 18 to 24 inches of total snow accumulation by the end of the week. That is not a typo. Toledo, 13 degrees. Wind chill -14. Pittsburgh, 15 degrees on Wednesday morning. Wind chill -13. Columbus, 17 degrees. Wind chill near -10. Cincinnati, 19 degrees. Wind chill -8. That is a city that dropped roughly 35 to 40 degrees in 30 hours. Think about that. Louisville, 21 degrees. Wind chill -6 to -10 depending on whether that northwest flow maintains its strength through the Ohio Valley. Nashville. Here is where I want to pause because Nashville is a city that has a recent and very painful memory of what happens when Arctic air arrives unexpectedly and the infrastructure is not ready. We are watching Nashville very carefully. The models are now showing Nashville dropping to 22 degrees by Wednesday morning. Wind chills near -5. Actual low temperatures in the low 20s. This is not the same event as some of the catastrophic cold events in years past, but it is significant. There is a chance of freezing rain in the Nashville area during the frontal passage period, meaning tonight into tomorrow morning. Ice accumulations could reach a quarter inch in parts of Middle Tennessee. On roads that are already wet from the warm, moist air ahead of the front, that is a recipe for sheet ice. Memphis, 27 degrees by Wednesday morning. Wind chill near zero. Ice potential during the transition period is real. Knoxville, 25 degrees. Wind chill 0 to -5. The valley topography around Knoxville can actually channel cold air in a way that makes temperatures there colder than you might expect based on latitude alone. Charlotte, North Carolina. You are sitting right on the line between the rain and ice scenario. Charlotte drops from 61 degrees today, 61, to 28 by Wednesday morning. That is a 33-degree drop in roughly 30 hours. And during the transition, sometime tomorrow afternoon and evening, you are going to be in a precarious temperature window right around freezing where precipitation type becomes critical. Right now the models are hinting at a quarter to half inch of ice accumulation in the Charlotte metro area. I want to be very direct here. A half inch of ice is catastrophic. That takes down power lines. That closes roads. That strands people in their cars. I am not saying we are definitely going to see that, but I am saying the models are putting it on the table and you need to be ready. Raleigh, North Carolina. Very similar story. Raleigh drops from 63 today to 31 by Wednesday morning. The ice potential here might actually be slightly higher than Charlotte depending on exactly how the precipitation timing works out. The transition from rain to freezing rain to sleet to snow happens fastest where the cold air arrives fastest, and right now Raleigh is in a zone where the timing is very uncertain. This is a situation where I could see either a mostly rain event or a significant ice event depending on whether the cold air accelerates slightly. The models are not fully resolved on this. Let me stop right here. Because what I just described, that uncertain zone from Charlotte to Raleigh to the Virginia Piedmont, that is the most dangerous part of this entire forecast in terms of life safety. Not the extreme cold in Minneapolis. Not the lake effect snow in Buffalo. The most dangerous area is where uncertain icing meets a population that is not equipped for it. I need every person in Central Virginia, the North Carolina Piedmont, and Western South Carolina to take this seriously starting right now. Richmond, Virginia, drops from 58 today to 29 by Wednesday. Ice potential real, especially for elevated surfaces, bridges, and overpasses, which can ice over even when road surfaces are okay. Washington, D.C., drops from 62 today to 34 by Wednesday morning. Washington is right on the edge. At 34 you avoid the worst ice outcomes. But if the cold air arrives even slightly faster than the models currently suggest, you are looking at freezing rain during the evening commute tomorrow. I-95 corridor, the Beltway, I-270. Freezing rain during rush hour. Think about that. Baltimore, 29 to 32 degrees by Wednesday. Ice probability moderate. Philadelphia, 31 degrees by Wednesday morning. 3 to 5 inches of snow possible with the frontal passage if the precipitation timing works out. New York City, 34 to 36 degrees. Light snow possible. Main story is the cold that follows. New York City at 26 degrees with winds gusting to 40 miles per hour gives you a wind chill of 5 to 10 degrees. For the homeless population, for the elderly, for anyone without adequate heating, this is extremely dangerous. Hartford, Connecticut, 24 degrees by Wednesday night. Wind chill near -5. Boston, 28 degrees by Thursday morning. Wind chills near 0. Boston could see 3 to 6 inches of snow with the frontal passage. Portland, Maine, 18 degrees by Thursday. Wind chills near -10 to -15. Burlington, Vermont, 14 degrees by Thursday. Wind chill -15 to -20. Albany, New York, 22 degrees by Thursday morning. Wind chill near -8. 4 to 8 inches of snow possible. Syracuse, New York, 19 degrees. Wind chill near -12. And then lake effect snow kicks in. Syracuse is one of the snowiest cities in the country, and lake effect events in Syracuse are not subtle. We are talking about potential additional 6 to 14 inches of lake effect snow layering on top of whatever the frontal system produces. Some lake effect bands could produce 2 inches per hour at times. If you are in the Tug Hill Plateau area north and east of Syracuse, I want you to really pay attention. Some of the most extreme accumulations in this entire event could happen there. 20 to 30 inches is not out of the question for the highest terrain areas under a locked-in lake effect band. Now let me run through the rapid-fire city breakdown for the rest of the region. I know many of you have been waiting to hear your city. Here we go. Stay with me. St. Louis drops from 53 today to 23 by Wednesday. Wind chill -8. Kansas City, already in it. You know. 19 degrees by tomorrow. Wind chill -12. Omaha, 6 degrees by Wednesday. Wind chill -20. Des Moines, 8 degrees. Wind chill -18. Davenport, Iowa, 12 degrees. Wind chill -15. Madison, Wisconsin, already dropping. 4 degrees by Wednesday. Wind chill -24. Rockford, Illinois, 8 degrees. Wind chill -19. Peoria, Illinois, 11 degrees. Wind chill -15. Springfield, Illinois, 14 degrees. Wind chill -11. Evansville, Indiana, 20 degrees. Wind chill -6. Fort Wayne, Indiana, 13 degrees. Wind chill -13. South Bend, Indiana, 10 degrees. Wind chill -16. And lake effect snow from Lake Michigan is going to absolutely pound the South Bend to Elkhart corridor. We could see 8 to 15 inches of snow in that area from lake effect alone. Akron, Ohio, 14 degrees. Wind chill -11. Youngstown, Ohio, 12 degrees. Wind chill -14. Heavy lake effect snow possible. Wheeling, West Virginia, 17 degrees. Wind chill -10. Charleston, West Virginia, 22 degrees. Wind chill -4. Ice potential during transition. Lexington, Kentucky, 20 degrees. Wind chill -7. Ice potential moderate. Bowling Green, Kentucky, 22 degrees. Wind chill -5. Chattanooga, Tennessee, 26 degrees. Wind chill near 0. Asheville, North Carolina, the elevation factor means Asheville could actually be colder than many cities to its north. 21 degrees by Wednesday. Wind chill -8. And with elevation comes the potential for significant snow. Asheville could see 5 to 8 inches before it is over. Greenville, South Carolina, 28 degrees. Light ice possible. Columbia, South Carolina, 31 degrees. Freezing rain possible during transition. Augusta, Georgia, 35 degrees. This is the southern edge of the ice threat. Marginal temperatures. Even a degree or two colder than forecast, and Augusta could see a brief period of freezing rain. Atlanta, Georgia. Let me spend a minute here because Atlanta and cold events have a history. The city drops from 62 today to 33 by Wednesday morning. Wind chill in the upper 20s to low 30s. For Atlanta, this is primarily an ice event on elevated surfaces and bridges. The main interstate system through Atlanta could see isolated bridge icing during the transition period tomorrow night. I want to be very clear. Atlanta is not looking at a catastrophic cold event. But it is looking at a disruptive one. And a disrupted Atlanta means hours-long traffic backups, which means people stuck in their cars, which means hypothermia risk for vulnerable populations. Huntsville, Alabama, 27 degrees. Wind chill near 0. Birmingham, Alabama, 30 degrees. Light freezing rain possible on elevated surfaces. Jackson, Mississippi, 34 degrees. Marginal ice potential. Little Rock, Arkansas, 25 degrees. Wind chill -4. Ice potential moderate. Little Rock sits in a part of the country that gets hit hard by these southern ice events, and the infrastructure there is not designed for sustained cold. Oklahoma City, 22 degrees by Wednesday. Wind chill -8. Oklahoma is already in phase 1 right now. Dallas and Fort Worth, 32 degrees by Wednesday. This is a major watch. Dallas and Fort Worth at exactly freezing, with any moisture in the atmosphere at all, means bridge icing, overpass icing, and potential significant disruption to one of the busiest metropolitan areas in the country. The Texas power grid has been upgraded since some of the devastating events of recent years, but any extended period of extreme cold creates demand stress. San Antonio, 36 degrees. Marginal but worth watching. Austin, 34 degrees. Similar story to Dallas. Bridge icing likely. Now I want to take a breath here and set up what is coming next in this video, because you have been incredibly patient, and what I am about to show you is the reason I told you not to leave early. The models just shifted overnight. Let me explain what that means. When I built my initial forecast for this event 48 hours ago, the story was essentially a two-phase event. Phase 1, the frontal passage. Phase 2, the Arctic blast. Done. Cold for a few days. Then we warm up. That was the story. That is not the story anymore. Here is what the overnight model runs are now showing. After the initial Arctic air mass settles in place over the eastern United States through Wednesday and Thursday, there is a secondary energy impulse diving south out of Canada along the western edge of this cold dome. On the GFS, this shows up as a second distinct pressure trough crashing through the Central Plains on Thursday night into Friday. The European model has been hinting at this for 2 runs now. And when both the GFS and the Euro agree on a secondary impulse like this, you pay attention. What does this secondary impulse do? 2 things. First, it reinforces the cold. Instead of the temperatures gradually moderating on Friday and Saturday as originally forecast, the cold gets extended. Cities that were supposed to start recovering into the 30s by the weekend might be stuck in the teens and 20s for another 2 days. That is a significant change to the duration of this event. Second, And this is the part that could turn a cold event into a full winter storm event for the southern states. This secondary impulse could interact with Gulf moisture and generate a significant precipitation event for the South Friday into Saturday. The details are still very uncertain at this range. But the national blend of models is now showing precipitation probabilities above 60% for a corridor from northeast Texas through Arkansas, Tennessee, and into the Carolinas for Friday night into Saturday. If that precipitation falls as snow, and at the temperatures we are talking about it very likely would, you are looking at a significant late-season snowstorm for a region that is already going to be beaten down by cold earlier in the week. I am putting this out there not to panic anyone, but to tell you that this story is not over when the Arctic blast arrives. There may be an Act 3. And I will have full coverage of that as the models come into better agreement over the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, the danger tier rankings. This is what you have been waiting for. I am going to rank the cities and regions in 3 tiers based on the combined threat of extreme cold, ice accumulation, infrastructure stress, and population vulnerability. Tier 1. Highest danger. Prolonged cold combined with ice threat and significant infrastructure stress. Listen for your city. The entire Great Lakes snowbelt from northwest Pennsylvania through the Tug Hill Plateau of New York. This region gets the Arctic cold, the lake effect snow, and the duration of the event all at once. Power outage risk is elevated because heavy, wet snow on lines followed by extreme cold is a brutal combination. If you are in Erie, Pennsylvania, Jamestown, New York, Watertown, New York, Syracuse, or any of the snowbelt areas, Tier 1. Charlotte, Raleigh, and the I-85 corridor through the Carolinas and Virginia Piedmont. This is Tier 1 because of the ice uncertainty combined with a population of millions that has very limited ability to deal with an ice event. If you lose power in Raleigh in late winter with temperatures dropping to the upper 20s, you have a genuine life safety emergency. Nashville and Middle Tennessee. Tier 1 because of the rapid temperature drop, the ice potential during transition, and the recent history that tells us infrastructure there can be overwhelmed. Little Rock, Arkansas, and surrounding areas. Tier 1 for similar reasons. Deep cold, ice potential, infrastructure sensitivity. Tier 2. Infrastructure stress. These cities face significant cold and wind events that will stress power grids, cause water main breaks, and create dangerous travel conditions, but where the primary hazard is cold and wind rather than ice. Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Louisville, Kansas City, St. Louis, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Hartford, Burlington, Albany, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Worth. These are major metro areas where the cold will be intense but manageable if you prepare. The infrastructure stress is real, rolling outages are possible especially on peak demand mornings, and wind chill is the primary life safety threat for vulnerable populations. Tier 2 also includes Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, primarily for the icing risk on bridges and overpasses and for the wind chill impact on a large homeless population. Tier 3. Southern cities not used to freezes. These cities are going to see temperatures that are unusual for them, that their infrastructure is not designed to handle, and where public awareness of cold weather safety protocols is lower. Atlanta, Birmingham, Huntsville, Chattanooga, Memphis, Jackson, San Antonio, Austin, Greenville, Columbia, Augusta. For these cities, the absolute temperatures might not seem extreme to someone in Chicago. But context matters. A water main designed to handle Atlanta winters is not the same as a water main designed for Minneapolis winters. A home in Birmingham with minimal insulation and minimal weatherization is not the same as a home in Chicago. And a population that has not experienced a significant cold event in years is not the same as a population that deals with this every winter. Tier 3 cities need to take this seriously even though the numbers might look less dramatic than what you are seeing in the north. Now let us talk about preparation, because this is the part of the video that actually matters most. I want every single person watching this to take the next 10 minutes after you finish watching and do some of these things. Water. When it gets extremely cold, pipes freeze. And when pipes freeze and then thaw, they burst. Before temperatures drop, let your faucets drip slightly. Cold water through the pipes, just a trickle, keeps them from freezing. Under cabinet doors in kitchens and bathrooms on exterior walls should be open to let warm air circulate. Know where your main water shutoff is. If a pipe does burst, You need to be able to shut off the water in the next 30 seconds, not the next 30 minutes. Generators. If you have a generator, now is the time to get it out, test it, and make sure you have fuel. But I cannot stress this strongly enough. Generators run on gasoline or propane produce carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is invisible. It has no smell. It will kill you while you sleep. Generators go outside. Never inside the garage, never in the shed attached to the house, never in the basement. Outside. Period. Every year people die from generator carbon monoxide poisoning during winter power outages. Do not let that be you. If you do not have a generator and you lose power, do not improvise heating solutions inside your home. No charcoal grills inside. No propane heaters not rated for indoor use. Call a warming center. Your local emergency management will have them activated. Pipes. If you are in a Tier 2 or Tier 3 city and you have pipes in exterior walls or in crawl spaces, seriously consider wrapping them with pipe insulation tape or heat tape before tonight. Hardware stores will have this in stock. It is inexpensive. A burst pipe in a wall during a cold event can cause thousands of dollars in water damage and leave you without water for days. Your vehicle. This is something people forget. If you are going to be driving during this event, your car needs a kit. A blanket. An extra coat. Jumper cables or a jump starter pack because cold kills batteries fast. A small bag of sand or cat litter for traction if you get stuck. Phone charger. A full tank of gas before the storm hits, not after. Fuel stations run out and lines get very long very fast during major cold events. Power outage survival. Know where your flashlights are. Not your phone flashlight. Actual flashlights with fresh batteries. Have a supply of warm clothing accessible without needing to go to a different part of the house. If you have children or elderly family members in your household, know your nearest warming shelter before you need it. Do not wait until the power has been out for 6 hours and it is midnight and it is 8 degrees outside to start figuring out where to go. I want to say something directly. Please check on your elderly neighbors. Not a text. Knock on the door. Make sure they have heat, they have food, they have water. Elderly people are significantly more vulnerable to cold stress than younger adults. And they may not reach out for help even when they need it. This is one of those things where a small act from you can genuinely be a matter of life and death for someone else. Now let me give you the future outlook, because I want to make sure you understand where this pattern goes after the immediate event. After the initial Arctic blast peaks on Wednesday and Thursday, there is a gradual moderation in the northern tier beginning Friday. Minneapolis climbs back toward the teens and then the 20s by the weekend. Chicago returns to the upper 20s. That is still below average for mid-March, but it is a relief compared to what Wednesday looks like. For the South and Mid-Atlantic, the cold air lingers longer than originally expected. This is partly because of that secondary impulse I mentioned earlier. Nashville stays below freezing through Thursday. Charlotte stays in the mid to upper 20s through Thursday. Raleigh similar. The pattern reload I mentioned is the key. After a brief moderation next weekend, the long-range signals, and I want to be clear that we are talking about day 10 to day 14 here so confidence is lower, but after that brief moderation, both the GFS and the European model are showing another trough developing in the flow, another piece of Arctic energy diving south in the third week of March. Whether that produces another major cold outbreak or just below normal temperatures is still very unclear. But the message from the long-range models is that this is not a one-and-done event. The pattern does not immediately flip to spring. We could be talking about another 2 to 3 weeks of active, below normal, potentially impactful winter weather across the eastern United States. March is a month that people underestimate. March is a month where the calendar says spring but the atmosphere has not read the calendar. Some of the most dangerous ice storms in history have happened in March. Some of the most impactful blizzards in American history have happened in March. When you have an anomalously cold Arctic air mass locked in place and a storm track that keeps firing, March can be one of the most dangerous weather months of the year. And right now, that is exactly the setup we are in. I am going to be updating this forecast as the models evolve. I have an update scheduled for later today once the 12Z model runs come in, and I will post another update tomorrow morning when we have much better clarity on the ice potential for the Carolinas and Virginia. If you want those updates the moment they drop, You need to be subscribed and you need to have notifications turned on. That is not a gimmick. That is genuinely the only way I can get you the information fast enough to matter. Here is what I need you to do right now before you do anything else. If you are in any of the cities I mentioned in this video, take this seriously starting today. Not tomorrow. Today. Fill up your gas tank today. Get your water, your flashlights, your generator fuel, your pipe insulation, your car kit, today. Because by the time you see the temperature dropping tomorrow afternoon, every hardware store in the affected region is going to be picked clean. Every gas station is going to have a line. And the window for comfortable, unhurried preparation is going to be closed. One last thing. If you found this forecast useful, if you learned something, if this changed your plans or helped you prepare, please hit the like button right now. I know that sounds like a small thing, but it genuinely helps this video reach more people who need this information. There are people in the cities I talked about tonight who are elderly, who are vulnerable, who are not on social media, who depend on someone who saw a video like this to warn them. Your like makes it more likely that person gets reached. Your share of this video might literally save someone's life during this event. I mean that. Subscribe if you are not already subscribed. This channel covers high-impact weather events with the kind of depth and urgency they deserve. No fluff. No clickbait for the sake of it. When I tell you this is serious, it is because the data is serious. And right now, the data is very serious. Check the community tab over the next 48 hours. That is where I will be posting quick hit updates between videos. Model shifts, ice totals, the latest on that secondary impulse. The community tab is where the action happens between full videos. Stay warm. Stay safe. Tell your family. Tell your neighbors. And I will see you in the next update.